people. I don't know, was they were assuming I'm a questioning authority or I was crazy. No, I'm just asking questions, and maybe I just didn't ask them in a thoughtful manner. But I know I was questioning why you're asking these type of questions, right? Like, for instance, this is just how my mind works. Like, I'm in college, right? I I'm in a basic math class because I hadn't been to school in maybe like 9 years, 8 years or something. So they put you in these basic classes, and I'm sitting here like, okay, this is crazy. Really? You're trying to teach me how to add and subtract and multiply? This is ridiculous. So because I'm so bored in the class, which I found myself being that way in school, this is what happens. I would just ask a weird question. So so I know that as an adult, I knew that now I couldn't really do that. So I was trying to be thoughtful. I just asked my teacher, I'm like, okay, I get it. Like 2 plus 2 is 4. But what I'm concerned about is like, who told us that? Why is that the case? Like, teach me why that's the case. 2 plus 2 is 4, and why, and who said so? And so those were the questions I was asking as a kid, but I didn't really know how to ask them, and so it must have came out crazy, and I must have seemed crazy or whatever, because I was just bored with the content, right? Sorry, but my mom, she was frustrated because same thing. I remember at breakfast because mom, again, I must have been 5 or 6, called in from school. Teacher's like, your son doesn't know how to write a 9. I'm like, I know how to write a 9. It's a 9, and I wrote it though like it looks when you're typing, right? Like right now, I'm looking at a number 9, and it looks like a G. Correct? You ever seen the bottom of the pages when you're reading books? And at the bottom of the page, you got the 1 and the 9. You're on page 19. You're on page 9. It looks like a G. So I wrote my numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, G, 10. Right? And the teacher she's like, your son doesn't know how to write a 9. And mom was like, look, boy, your teacher telling me to know how to write a 9. Write your numbers. And I write them out. I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And she's like, what do you mean he doesn't know how to write a number? Then I get to the 9 and I write a G, right? And mom is freaking out on me. She's like, that's not a, I'm like, that is a 9. And I'm arguing with my mom as a 5 or 6-year-old, right? But of course, a 5 or 6-year-old doesn't know any better. But I'm trying to explain to her in my 5 or 6-year-old understanding that is a 9. Look at the book. But of course, you got to conform, people, right? You got to conform. So I conform. But this was kind of who I was. This is who I was throughout school. And so, really, as soon as I could get out of school, I did. I really did. I dropped out and I went and got my GED. I was so done with that. I guess we'll get there. I'm getting ahead of myself, right? But this was kind of my, what I was dealing with. By that time, mom had, another daughter, right? And we had a kind of a stepdad around the house, right? A little bit around, her dad. And, she ended up having 3 other kids with him. So I have 3 siblings, and it was mom and stepdad for a little bit. And, about the age of 8 or 9, he was gone too, right? So mom, by the time she was in her early to mid 20s, she had 4 kids and she was single, right? So this was rough for her too, right? We're living in the projects, man, right? I mean, straight up Jordan Park, for people who grew up in the Berg, you know what I mean when I say Jordan Park in the 80s, right? And the 90s, right? Crazy time. This was the projects, people, right? I mean, these are the things that I think about, like when I think about my children and how spoiled they are, right? I try and tell them, they come home with their issues, and I try and be so loving and kind and concerned, but it just floors me because if those were my issues, man, I would have been sweet growing up. Man, I had the issues of I'm getting off the school bus, right? Me and my siblings, who were old enough to be in school at the time, getting off the bus as elementary kids, right? Your parents saying, man, your parents weren't there waiting for you at the school bus, people. I know you guys got this idea, some of you, that your family, your mom or your dad is out there waiting for you while you get off the bus. You crazy dude, not where I'm from. You better get home. We're latchkey kids. My mom was at work, man. No. So, man, we get off the bus, and often there was one or two ladies walking by or at the bus stop for some reason. We called them Chicken Bitty was one of them. Old lady, old Chicken Bitty. And hopefully some of you know that name, right? Or Mayonnaise. And Mayonnaise, we call her Mayonnaise because it's seriously, her lips were like so chapped. Like just so chapped that it looked like she would just smear them with mayonnaise. Sorry, I'm laughing at people. But no, this was like crazy ladies. So you got these kids and you got the older kids who will rile you up right as you get up to the bus stop. Oh, look, it's Chicken Bitty. Y'all better run. You know, and you got these, man, you got kindergartners on the bus, right? Scared to death that Chicken Bitty or Mayonnaise is going to chase them. And so you got the older kids picking at these ladies, and so they do start chasing us. I mean, you running home with this backpack as a kid screaming for your mama. Mama, Chicken Bitty, Mayonnaise going to get me, mama. You know what I mean? Seriously. This was our life, people. Like, and again, I'm just saying, this wasn't just me. I got a bus full of kids having to deal with this every day. Something crazy. Getting off the bus like that, just running home, right? So yeah, that was my life. But mom, again, she's trying to do the right things. I'm trying to tell you that mom was living what she was trying to do. She went to work every day. Mom went to work, and she would try and take us to church. And I remember, we gathered together on Sunday mornings in our best little dresses and suits, as best we could. And we dig for money around the couches and looking for nickels and pennies so that we didn't look foolish for the collection plate, right? We want to put something. We want to hear a couple of ding dings or something so people know we paying tithing, right? We got this. So yeah, we got our little pennies that are in our pockets. We're crossing the street, just trying to get to the little church around the corner. Mom and her ducklings, right? And I remember one day sitting in, it was a Baptist church, we're sitting there, and there was a woman preacher up there. She's preaching hellfire and brimstone. You know how it is, people. You know how it goes. And I lean over to mom, and I'm like, hey mom, I want to be baptized. And she's like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. We'll talk to him when the service is over. Let's talk to him. I was like, oh yeah. So I'm bouncing. I'm like, I ain't worried about hell today. I'm gonna get baptized, right? I'm just bouncing in the pew now. And we get out there and we grab the preacher, and she's all, yeah, thanks for coming, just doing her thing. And mom's like, hey, my son want to be baptized. How do we do that? And she's like, oh, okay. And she's like, but why? And she's just grilling. Like, I'm looking at my mom. I'm like, why is she grilling me like this? I just want to be with Jesus. That's what I told him, like, because I want to go to heaven. I want to be with Jesus. Jesus got baptized, and he told me, I'm like, I'm just talking, She wouldn't do it. They didn't do it. My mom, she was hot, furious. And I can't recall after that ever really going back to church ever again. No Easters, not with my mom. Nothing. I just don't remember it. I don't have any other experiences after that of us as a family going together, church together. And so it's funny, man, Easter, I didn't really know what Easter meant. I just knew Easter, you did Easter egg hunts, you got new clothes, man, we were tight, man. Easter, you got them new flowery clothes and, them bright colors, you were tight, dude. So yeah, that's what Easter meant to me. So you got some Easter, you got to paint some eggs and got some eggs to eat and some candy. Yeah, I love Easter. Bring on Easter every year. Easter bunny coming? Sweet. So I was actually floored and embarrassed when I actually figured out what Easter meant as a grown man, right? Like, I thought I believed in Jesus. I don't even know what Easter means. Dude, get out of here. Yeah, so that was me growing up, right? So, I still wanted to be baptized, man. I was 8, 9, 10, we moved from Jordan Park, right? We moved over to the Heights, Bethel Heights, right? Right, man. I got in my mind a 10-year-old running around over on Bethel Heights. And about this time, this is about the time I recall actually going and meeting my dad's family, right? His wife and his kids, and my grandma on that side and things like that. It's funny. I tell people I've probably really in my lifetime have probably spent maybe 24 to 48 hours in total with my dad. Like, I don't know the guy. Like, when his mom died and we went to a funeral, man, I was like, "Hey dad, what's your favorite color?" So I could tell my kids, right? I don't even know the guy, man. Just, and I have to call him a guy because that's how it is right now. I don't know him, right? Even though he's alive and whatever, doing his thing. So, and I'm doing mine now. It's a strange thing to say, right? But this is how it was. But I finally, got the chance to meet them, and it was interesting. I'm all excited. 10-year-old. My dad is coming. I got some brothers, and I'm gonna meet them. Ooh. And I get over there, and they treat me like crap. Oh, brothers, I put you on blast too. I'm sorry. I love you guys now. We're over that. But I just wanted to. I'm showing you from my perspective of what I was dealing with. Right, 10-year-old. Finally meeting the brothers and the sister. She's just a baby though. I didn't. Just a little girl, little baby girl, pick up and cuckoos. That. But I had brothers who were my age and a little older than me and a little younger. And they're picking on me about my name because I'm a Randolph, but my mom and my brothers, they're all Staggers, and so they're calling me Stagosarius, right? I'm a dinosaur. That kind of stuff. I'm like, you're not a Randolph. It was crazy, right? So when I was like, you know what? I'm gonna prove these cats wrong, right? This is how I always took things. I'm gonna prove everybody wrong. You tell me I can't do something? That's the last thing you should tell me. You should probably stroke my ego and tell me I'm great if you don't want me to do anything. If you want me to do something, tell me I can't, right? Tell me I'm off, right? I'll just go at it even harder, right? And so, I knew I couldn't bring that burden home to mom. I was just like, whatever. I'm just do my thing. I ain't got. I'm just when I go back over here, I'm gonna show them up, right? So when I had the chance to go back over there, and every now and then I get back over there, I make sure we call a game together of football. That was my thing, man. I was just shining on the football field, right? In the middle of the road, making all kinds of plays, right? So that his friends, their friends, can be like, "Dang, dude, what's up with your brother, your little brother? What's up with?" So that was my thing. So I just, I felt like I had to be better than everybody. I was always overcompensating. It was an interesting thing. My cousin Dominique, she actually asked me this when my aunt just recently died back in January of this year, and had a chance to go back and almost like a good little family reunion. And my cousin, only in the way that she can ask, right? You still? She asked me, "You still conceited?" I'm like, "Oh wow, I see how you are, right?" She's like, "I'm like, what are you talking about?" She's like, she asked the question, "Have you met anybody smarter than you yet?" Yeah, I guess that's a cut at the ego, right? I'm always thinking I'm better, and I really try not to live and be that way. But I've always felt like I just had to overcompensate because I felt like people were always, telling me I couldn't, or telling me that I'm dumb, or telling me that I wasn't capable of things, or that I'm odd, those things. And so I was always looking for, to overcome, right? And we're dealing with this stuff, man. As a 10-year-old, again, I'm telling you, we're living in Bethel Heights, and man, I was a hustler, right? I was always trying to figure out how to be something, right? I always been that way, and so me and the boys, we're trying to find ways to earn a little bit of money in the summer to get to the pool, to have some snacks at the pool, maybe to walk down to the beach at the pier, have some snacks at the pier, buy some food. So man, I was always scheming. I go to the gas station. I created my own little business model. I'm like, hey man, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go over to the gas station. I'm gonna sit at the pump. When somebody walks, I'm like, hey, excuse me, sir, excuse me, ma'am, can I pump your gas for a quarter? I can take care of that for you just for a quarter. Just trying to get to the pool today, and I need 75 cents to get in. That's all. So I figure if I do a couple of these, I can get me some snacks. And they'd be like, oh yeah, baby, go ahead. Back in the day, it was like 99 cents a gallon, right? So they fill up for a couple bucks. right? And then throw 50 cents at me. I was like, sweet, man, I got me a business model